Science Comics, Coral Reefs, Cities of the Ocean. Hello, would you mind, backing up a little bit? Thanks. I'd like to introduce you to my habitat, the coral reef. Chapter 1. What is coral? That's what this book is about after all. There are a few topics we're going to need to cover before we dive into coral reefs. First up, plants and animals. What makes a plant and an animal? Plants convert sunlight into energy in a process called photosynthesis. Plants also breathe in carbon dioxide from the air and breathe out oxygen. Plants have rigid, rectangular cell walls. Animals need to consume food to make energy. They breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Animals have squishy, flexible cells with cell membranes. Squishy fishy. A coral is an animal. Surprised? Lots of humans think corals are plants because of their appearance. We're not plants, but upon closer inspection, you'll find that corals are definitely animals. Corals do, however, have a special relationship with teeny tiny microscopic plant-like organisms called algae. But we love plants. We'll get to that later. Next question, what type of animal is a coral? I don't know. Don't worry, little buddy. Humans have divided living organisms into groups. Phew! I was about to have an identity crisis. They were originally divided by undefined characteristics of things that they have in common. Now, genetics play a role as well. Turns out that I'm more related to spiders and scorpions. Corals belong to a large group of animals called invertebrates. Invertebrates are animals that have no backbone or spinal cord, and they're everywhere. Corals can be placed into a smaller group of invertebrates called cnidarians. Other notable cnidarians include sea anemones, sea pens, and also sea jellies. At a glance, they might seem very different, but on a closer look, they'll reveal some of their undefined characteristics. Real symmetry. Each of us has a center point, our mouth, with a body radiating out from that point, and we all have flexible tentacles that help us catch our prey. Just wave your tentacles in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. Each tentacle comes equipped with thousands of microscopic stinging cells called nematocysts. When a tentacle comes in contact with another living thing, its nematocysts automatically eject. Cnidarians use this adaptation to stun or kill prey before bringing it into their mouths. Don't worry, cnidarians are not your nemesis. The stinging action is involuntary. Cnidarians cannot control it. The only thing they will not sting is if they touch another jelly of the same species. There, human, it's nothing against you. It's the jelly's natural reaction. The last characteristic had to do with each cnidarian's life cycle. Even though their adult forms are unique, the stages leading up to them are very similar. Now that we know a bit about what corals are, let's take a look at what makes coral, coral. There are many species of coral that comes in all shapes and sizes. But every single coral has a shell-like calcium carbonate base called a skeleton. Rewind back to a coral's life cycle. The individual polyps use minerals found in the ocean water to form their skeleton. Each polyp creates its own basis as it grows. It builds a new base on the top of the previous one. It takes hundreds, even thousands of generations of polyps to form the skeleton, and thousands, even millions of years to form a coral reef. Corals are colloidal. Coral polyps live together in large formations, also called corals. The species of the coral dictates the shape of the coral skeleton. One last coral-specific characteristic is the presence of zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae. Remember when I said corals have a special relationship with those microscopic algae? Zooxanthellae is the name of that algae. Zooxanthellae live on the surface of the coral's body and do exactly what their plant cousins do. Photosynthesis. Oh, here we go. Zooxanthellae converts sunlight into energy with help the carbon dioxide from the coral. In turn, zooxanthellae provide the coral with food and oxygen. This is called a symbiotic relationship, and it is mutual. I love you, coral. I love you too. Both the coral and the zooxanthellae benefit from each other. They actually need each other to survive. One last thing about this awesome algae. Zooxanthellae are responsible for coral's vibrant colors. Thanks. You're welcome. These individual characteristic calcium carbonate base photosynthetic algae colonial lifestyle limit the range where corals can live and thrive. Let's take a look at the environmental needs of most corals. Close proximity to sunlight. To zooxanthellae use photosynthesis, the corals must be close enough to the surface to access sunlight. Reef building corals are found at a depth of up to 230 feet deep, but thrive at surface level to 90 feet. Limited temperature range. Coral have a specific range of temperatures that they can survive in: 64 to 84 Fahrenheit, 18 to 28 Celsius. Most plants and animals on this planet have their own temperature ranges, even humans. Steady salinity, salt levels. Corals need salinity levels to remain between 30 or 40 parts per thousand. Corals will not grow in areas of the ocean near a river or other freshwater source. Now that you know a bit more about coral as an animal, let's look at